Hello and welcome to another episode of Christine's Coloring Crafts. I'm Christine today, and I got a few things to show you, and then we're going to kind of learn together the differences between an oil-based pencil and a wax-based pencil. First, I wanted to show you something that I kind of thought turned out cute after I finished it, but while I was doing it, I wasn't so sure, and I still need to do a background on it. But this is from Mariola Budek, and this is one of her PDF printouts. Cute little lady with the puppy. Now what I did was I did all of this. Her hair is in my Polychromos, and her skin in the flowers, and her lips and the dog's paws and nose are all in my Caran Luminance. And I don't know if you can see here. If you can see the sparkle on the video, I don't know. But this is all stickles in my favorite stickle color, the unicorn. It's just so pretty. I thought if they want her to have some beads in her hair, I'm going to make them look sparkly. So we did some embellishments. The thing that I wasn't so sure about, and I think it actually turned out kind of cute, but because it's an experiment, it's not perfect, which that's part of being a colorist or an artist or a crafter of any kind, is learning. And the nice thing about the PDF is if you didn't like it the first time, you can always do it again. Even though you put in a lot of work, you learn something every time as you do a picture over and over again. So what I did is I took my Bic fine liners and the Bic Intensity pen, not pens, markers. And I went ahead and I did a good base coat of different shades of brown. And then I came back on the puppy with my handy dandy trusty Prismacolor white. Woo, woo, woo. And I went ahead and did some little flicks to make him look a little bit more furry. Now he didn't turn out as realistic as I was picturing, but I thought he turned out pretty cute nonetheless. Definitely some things I can change, excuse me, in the future. But until then, I'm really, really happy. I love the flowers. I love how she turned out. I kind of wish she was wearing some clothes, so I could have colored those too, but, skin is skin and yada, yada, yada. And then, since she was all natural in the buff, I figured I'd make her all natural, with no makeup on, and just as natural as possible lips. And I even went ahead and came in with my Derwent Chinese White, my teeny tiny Derwent Chinese White drawing pencil. And I gave her a little bit of shine to her lips. I didn't want to do the gel pens because, she's not wearing lipstick. She doesn't need to have, sloppy wet lips. But anyway, finished it yesterday. And I really, really like it. Our next thing that we're going to look at is on Pamela's Passion for Pencils Facebook group. Pamela posted about the Castell Arts gold pencils set being on sale. So ta-da! Here it is. Already out of the package. I was a little disappointed. They're on sale on Amazon. I was a little sad about the package and a little worried about the pencils. I haven't seen the pencils yet. As you know, Amazon is for some reason thinking that they need to send our precious, cherished colored pencils in those stupid padded envelopes. And while, yeah, sure, they're great for some products, they're not great for the colored pencils, guys. They're just not great. You risk breaking your pencils and having unhappy customers. So anyway, let's go ahead and open her. One of these days I'm going to get a bigger desk. Looks like it comes with Join the Castell Club. And then it's the standard stuff here, looks like. They're big pamphlets. And of course I still have the 72 set. So all I'm going to take out of the 120 set when I go to swatch them is the colors I don't already have in my drawers. Nice. Look at there. That's pretty cool. I never really paid attention to that before. It gives you some colors, gives you the colors to use. Dude, we're totally trying that, especially for the butterfly. Oh my gosh, for the butterfly, yes. Okay, so we're definitely keeping this time around. I never really paid attention to that. That is my fault. But I'm paying attention today. Excuse me. Color and product guide. So a list of their colored pencils: 120 soft touch, 72 soft touch, 120 gold, 72 gold, 48 metallic, 48 pastel tint pastels. And then the watercolor pencils, woodless watercolor, paints, gouache, I think it's called gouache, oil paints, acrylic paints, drawing and sketching sets. Hey, if anything you guys take away from my videos is that I can't say half the words on my, with my hobby. And then, of course, ooh, their full color set. Nice. I like that. And the metallics here and the pastel tints there. That's pretty cool. Okay. So you get some pretty cool stuff. Oh, and last but not least, a little book. Oh! Oh my gosh! Check it out. I can't believe that. And blending and rubbing alcohol, mineral spirits, Vaseline, natural oils, baby oil, blending powder. Holy cow. Paper blender, spirit blender. I've never heard of a spirit blender. Colorless blender, pencil blending, colored pencil blending, a blending bud, cotton bud, tortillon. I think it's tortillon. I'm just gonna go with that. And a paper blender, which I think is called a blending stump. Yay! But I have never heard of a spirit blender. I'm gonna have to look into that. But anyway, let's go to the beginning here. I think I'm definitely gonna keep everything this time around and really read it. Most of the time I just can't wait to get to the pencils. And of course the picture of the box that I have. Okay, the boxes. I've got a lot of boxes. And they're full. Yikes. Anyway, different ways of sharpening, dull, showing you the sharp, dull, chisel, all kinds of different tips and tricks. Okay, they really go all out. Wow. Now that I've taken the time to kind of look at this, they really go all out to kind of help you learn. Oh, and how to do gold. Make it look like gold, even though it's not gold. It looks a lot like gold. Scribbles. I'm going to do the scribbles just for fun. Oh, yes I am. Okay, and then there's that page again. This looks so beautiful. Okay, these guys are going on the desk so I could put them in the drawer later and read them. Otherwise, we're going to spend the entire video reading this stuff. And I've got quite a ways to go. And then, of course, you got, they call it a tester sheet, but you could use it as a swatch sheet. And then, this is beautiful, but I'm not keeping it. After I took it out of the packaging, though, and this is why I'm not, like, steaming mad, the case itself looks fine. Nothing looks out of order or anything like that. No dents, no blemishes, and just a gorgeous, I love this design on the case. Oh, yay! I miss these, even though they're still a little bit difficult for me to get. They're so much easier to take out than just putting your big old fingers in there, especially if you got big old fat fingers like me. And then we got one. Oh, it's broke. No! So we'll be extra careful with this one. So we do have a broken one. And then it looks like we got 3 trays. That's okay. I won't be reusing the trays. I'm going to reuse... Dang, the whole thing's broke off, guys. It's like hanging on by a hair. I might as well just not rip it off because then well, yeah, I better, because then I won't be able to get the other tray in. All right. So, what? Oh. What's that? Anyway, you can tell I've had my coffee today. So we did have a little bit of damage to one of the trays, but it's not going to hurt the quality of the pencils. They all look good. They're all in their place, a little smushed in their place, but they're in there. I bet they will all sharpen nicely. Look at all these purples. That's the main reason I wanted the entire gold set, was for the extra purples. I love purple. I'm not going to be sorry or apologetic about it. I love that color, and I love using it. And I can't wait to use it more. But yeah, I'll have to redo the swatch sheet, but I will get the old swatch sheet out and compare it with the 120 because they're listed here on the lid of the tin. And I will go through and see who I don't have in my 72 set, and I will move them over there. And then I'll just have extras of the 72s. I don't believe these are sold open stock. But anyway, that was my Castell Arts Gold 120 set. I got them on Amazon.com for about $48. And that was with tax. Let's go see if it's still on sale. No, I wanted my orders, but thank you. It's not gonna go. There they are. Okay, they are still on sale. Now, their normal price is $64.99 for the 120 count, which makes them 54 cents a pencil. But you put in a 30% coupon that's right underneath the price. Will be the word coupon, and then you click the little box across from that, and you save an extra 30%. And which makes, it was like, I swear with tax, it was like $48 and some odd change. Let me view the invoice. $48.90. So about $49, which was a lot cheaper than they are. I mean, you're saving almost 20 bucks. It came up to $19.50 that I saved. And then total before tax was $45.49, and then the tax was $3.41 here in the state of Ohio. So if you live in another state, your tax rate may differ, maybe more, it may be less. Sorry, I need a drink of water, as usual. All right, and now on to what I call the main event of the show today. We are going to compare my two most expensive sets. And these guys are not cheap. Although for once, when I was price checking, for once, Amazon and Blick were dead on the same price for one of the sets of pencils. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I went looking for my picture that I was doing last week. Lo and behold, I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it, where I put it. I'll probably find it way, way, way later. So I picked another page out of... oh, shoot. Ugh, her name. I know it's Angel Kova is a last name. I get stuck every week. Camellia Angel Kova. There we go. And I'm going to put this up here for now because that kind of helped me guide so I don't have to like think too much. And I started doing it in my Polychromos last night while I was watching Trilogy Media, which, if you don't know what Trilogy Media is, they're YouTubers, and then they have like some other channels and stuff, and they're basically a media group that helps to expose scammers. But last night they decided to have a little fun and come to my home state of Ohio. They went to Cleveland. Darn it, it's 4 hours away. Anyway, I've always wanted to meet those guys and shake their hands and say thank you. But anyway, they decided to go to a haunted hotel and then go live via YouTube. So it was really interesting, a little bit funny, a little bit crazy, you know. And I was just coloring this bird to this video. And to be clear, I was using my Polychromos, and then of course I wanted some lighter blues, so I went ahead and got a couple of my very, very short Brute Fooner squares. Poor little guys. There we go. And I must have been watching the video for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that's how long it took to get that color out on this bird. And I could still see where I could put down more layers. And this is what we're going to talk about today, because as I was doing this, I was like, man, I don't think I've seen a video like really go super in depth. We all talk about colored pencils and whether they're oil based or wax based, and that, you know, it's common knowledge among the more seasoned veterans. And it finally became common knowledge to me that these pencils, when they say oil based or wax based, they're actually made of both. They have the wax, the oil, the pigment, and some fillers. And you will have less fillers, from what I understand. You'll have less fillers in the more expensive brands than you will in your medium range pencils or even your budget pencils. And that's why the most expensive brands come out with the brightest colors. With Prismacolor kind of being a good mid-range price, but a professional colored pencil. And annoying at that. Anyway, I thought we would go over that today, and then we would do one leaf because it is going to take me a while. These 2 leaves down here have only 3 layers. And I don't know if you can see it, but I could still see plenty of white of the paper in spots. And I know it will take some more layers, but look how bright and beautiful that pigment has gone down. The more of the oil pencils are, what I'm learning is the more of the oil pencils that you use, the more layers, the brighter it gets. I don't know what the mechanics of that mean, but here, I'm going to take another drink. But it is beautiful. It's as bright and gorgeous as a colored pencil. A wax-based pencil. And I'm doing them today with these guys. I haven't ever used this one, which is my pine green. And I wanted to use pencils I don't normally use in this little cute picture for spring. But they're also harder. Really hard. I mean, I just drew on myself. I don't know if I can get it off, though. Hey, it comes right off. Just lick it. I probably just poisoned myself. Don't do that at home, kids and adults. Anyway, here's the paper I made up, the sheet I made up today. I picked 4 colors out of the Luminance that were kind of similar to the Polychromos. Now they are different. They're not going to be an exact match. A couple of them aren't really even close. Anyway, the Polychromos are considered an oil-based pencil, which means they'll have more oil than wax in their formula, making them harder. And they're different. Now, I've seen this discussed in a lot of videos, is how to use the oil-based pencils, per se. Like, you have to, what you're learning, and sorry, I'm tripping over my words tonight. What you're learning to do is kind of do the layers and layer and layer and layer. But when other colorists and artists spoke about layering oil-based pencils, I was already layering with the wax based. So I'm like, what is the bloody difference? But anyway, and then we have our Luminance, which are considered wax based, more wax than oil. And then these are the Amazon prices. So don't get sticker shock at the Luminance just yet. Now the Polychromos on Amazon, all 120, the 120 set is $197, making them approximately $1.64 per pencil. And then the Luminance, they only have the 100 colors, but you will also get a blending pencil and something else. Okay, just one blending pencil, which basically means you get 101 pencils for $318.05 on Amazon. I did not count the blending pencil. I took that out of the equation, making them approximately $3.18 each. Now, granted, these are wax-based. You're going to use them a lot faster than you will your oil-based. That's what I'm learning here. And I hope you guys can learn with me. Now, I went to Blick.com. Ta-da! You will, if you really want the 100 set of Caran Luminance pencils, and you've got to have them. If you're a collector like me, you've got to have them. And I had to have them. You could get the full set of 100 for, sorry, I'm tripping over my mat here, for $287.99. And that makes them $288 a pencil. So you're saving a little bit of money there. And if you've got the money and you want to go ahead and just get both sets there, you can get them both on Blick.com. And you know, I mean, both places are going to offer you free shipping, but you can have them all come from one place if you wanted to, because the full set of Polychromos are also $197 on Blick. And I'll be sure to include links below after I get done uploading. And we're going to put this up for a little bit because we're about to play. And I'm going to go get my Luminance here. And as you can see, I use the Luminance. Now this one, number 212, the Chromium Oxide Green, I have not used before. That was part of an open stock buying because I was still short like 4 of the colors because I bought some open stock. I bought a couple of small sets, so I do have duplicates, and then I got the big set. I think the 72 set or 76 set. I can't remember what it was called. Let's go see here. Colored pencils. And I'm keeping an eye out for the Artezas because I really love those pencils and I want another set, even though I got 2 sets already. It's a 76 set. So there we go. Was what I got. And then I discovered that I was still about 4 pencils short. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out on those Artezas because I do want... Out of the budget sets, I love those the most. I really, really do. So, okay. We will go ahead and do the wax set first because the majority of my videos, I use the wax-based pencils. So, we're all kind of basically used to them. And we will just start out with the dark sap green. And the first layer of everybody will be really light. So, you're going to see a lot of the white of paper. And then we're going to use the moss green. And I still haven't perfected blending, so don't judge me. And then we're going to use the Chromium Oxide Green. And then we're going to use the Spring Green. And their numbers are right beside here. It's easier for me to read the numbers than it is the names. Trust me, it takes forever to read the names. All right, then on to the Polychromos here. We're going to go ahead and use the Pine Green. Now, I don't know if you could tell the difference on camera or not, but these on this paper, and it's my Nina 67-pound paper, these are smoother going down on this paper. They feel more like a pencil. And this will be the Chromium Opaque Green. And then this will be the Permanent Green Olive. And then last but not least, May Green, which I don't use much of either. And it's going to be a little bit darker than the Spring Green. A little bit duller, I should say. And as you can see, the comparison of the two. And this is just on the Nina 67-pound paper. Anyway, as you can see, you can still see plenty of white of the paper on these both sets. But the biggest difference is that you see less white of the paper on the Polychromos than you do the Luminance. Well, it doesn't make the Luminance a bad pencil. It doesn't make wax pencils a bad pencil. But here's where it gets really interesting for me. If we do it again and we go a little bit harder, you're going to get your bright color right away. Look at that. Look at the difference. That's dark sap green. And then moss green. And then chromium oxide green. And you're going to see almost no white of the paper. And last but not least, spring green. So if you didn't want to layer, you're going to get that look right away. And you can almost do the same thing, I think, with the Polychromos. I hate to do this. But here we go. Or basically do the same thing. I shouldn't say almost, because you could basically do the same thing. But right now, I'm going to tell you guys what I've learned, especially from watching videos and coloring myself, is that going heavy-handed in is just going to wear your pencils down more. And then 2, look, when you're heavy-handed, both sets leave down crumbs. Bye-bye, crumbs. Okay, so let's take 2 of these colors and then just do the light. We're going to do dark sap green and moss green. And I don't think you could blend anymore in these guys either. And then we're going to do, I like to do the cross hatch, what they call the cross hatching. Just back and forth. And I'm going to pull the dark sap green down a little bit, but I'm going to go down a little bit heavier up here, but I'm going to come up down here because those 2 are going to come together and they're going to look really pretty, I think. And then go the opposite way. Be a little bit heavier up here and a little bit lighter up here. A little bit heavier down here, a little bit lighter up here. Because I want them to blend. And that's layer 2. Here's layer 3. And after we get done playing with that, I'm going to see if I can actually put another layer on those. Heavier down here. Lighter up here. There we go. Turn it back around. And I'm going to start going a little bit harder at the top than I was. More of a medium hard pressure. And then of course pulling back when I get down towards the bottom here where these 2 colors are going to meet. And you can still see a good amount of the paper on layer 4. And then here's layer 5. These guys are going to start getting a little bit messy because I haven't sharpened them yet. Sharpened them or resharpened them, whatever. Oh, I don't know why I thought I was going to turn. And I'm going to start pressing down just a little bit more right at the blending point. Not a lot. I think that was layer 6. Hopefully, this is layer 7. Okay. Now we can see the white of the paper going away. And I believe this is layer 8. So basically 8 layers. And then I'm going to take my little Prismacolor blending pencil. Doesn't have anything on there. And we're just going to kind of blend in the middle together here. Now this looks a lot better when you do it in trios. You know what I mean? You know, dark, medium, and light. And you can really see where everything's blending together. And I'm just kind of pulling that darker green in, but also at the same time coming back and getting a little bit of the lighter green to kind of mix with it. Now watch this. You could almost see the colors. And you could really, because there's so much pigment down, look at that. You can just start pulling that out. Don't do that though, I'm just playing. I don't think it's going to make your coloring look good. So basically, what, 7 or 8 layers on that? And then let's go back here and see if I can actually... Yeah, I think I can. I think that's another layer because all of the white is gone. Of course, these are so small, I didn't really put in a blend. But I bet the blender pencil will do good. Where'd it go? There you are, buddy. Oh, start at the lightest. And pull the green down into, or one of the mediums into the light here. And go into the light, Caroline, go. And then just down, down, down till you're dark. And it looks messy, right? Woo! All done. So, hey, okay. We're kind of learning together because I do notice when I color, I like to turn off my lights, that I kind of treat the oil-based pencils different because I've learned on all the videos and in all the Facebook groups that they are really, really different. So let me put these Caran dashes up. And buddy, these go fast. So honestly, as much as I love them, they're more, for me, a collector pencil for a couple of reasons. They're super expensive. I mean, even at the lower price on Blick.com or dickblick.com, whatever, they're still super expensive. They're very expensive pencils. And, excuse me, and they're very soft. They are like a little bit harder than Prismacolor soft, and I mean just a little bit. And it doesn't matter what type of sharpener I use, these get eaten fast. Even if you try to take your time, because you do use a lot of the wax-based pencils. And I have noticed they're all like that, and I've noticed that the oil-based have a tendency to last a little bit longer. And I think it's just because they're a harder pencil. But anyway, I will use these. I did use those. I used them in that picture I showed at the beginning of the video, and I really, really loved it. And I like using them, but I'm not going to use them as much as I'm going to use my other pencils, be they wax-based or oil-based. I'm just not going to use a lot of them because I don't want to be sitting there color 2 or 3 pages and then be out of pencils and have to use an extender that, let me go show you what happened, because I have bought 3 or 4 different types of pencil extenders. They're either too big or too small for the butts of these things. And I'm going to show you what I did after I put these up here. Or what I basically had to do. Now I got several double-ended ones off of Amazon, and that's the one end, and that's actually the smaller end, and everybody else fits in there pretty fine as far as like my Prismacolors, my Artezas, and my Black Widows, my Castell Arts, you know, so on and so forth. They all fit really good in this side. Here's the bigger side. I can't even tell you which Caran Dash pencil this is. It's one of my skin colors, but I literally have to try it out every time to make sure that I know it's a color I want to use. And then the way I sharpen it is in my Prismacolor sharpener. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's its shavings in there. Because it will not fit in my Doll 133. It just won't fit. But that's the best I could do. I want to use as much of these pencils as possible because they are super expensive. And if any of you guys have pencil extenders or have found pencil extenders that the Caran Dash Luminance specifically fit in, let me know in the comments below where you got it. I'm going to buy some because this is kind of rinky-dink. I mean, it works, but it's just kind of rinky-dink. And then, all right, let's get back to these Polychromos here. Play with them a little bit. We'll do 2 of them. Here's my pine green. And I'll do the same thing I did with the other 2. Although I just put a slight layer on that out of habit. I usually do like 2 super lights and then start going in with like a light to medium pressure and then a little bit harder there, and then a little bit harder there, and a little bit harder there. Until I'm satisfied that I've covered most of the way of the paper. But these just feel so much smoother on this paper. And yeah, I'm going all over the place with them. The thing is, though, too, I believe this paper is perfect for these Polychromos. That doesn't necessarily mean if you're using the Spring Hill paper that would be the most ideal for the Polychromos. I actually found that, layer 2, that I do not like the Polychromos on the Spring Hill 80-pound paper. Don't like them. They scratch. And it's like nails on a chalkboard, guys. Nails on a chalkboard. There we go. And then I think this is layer 4. Man, I'm going to be like everybody else and don't know how to count layers. But see how the color is just coming in really, really nice. Layer 5. We're just going to call this layer 5. And then layer 6. As you see, I don't know if you can see in the video. I'll try to put it up close here. You see my fingerprints. This is why it's important that you routinely dust off your paper and use a cover of some sort when you're on your actual colorings. So it looks like it's going to take about the same layers as the wax base. And I'm going to go ahead and say, for this type of paper, it's going to be basically personal choice. Which pencil would you rather use? All right, so that's probably about 8. Let's get the rest of the Caran dashes off here. Start blendy, 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 blendy. Pulling the darker color into the lighter color and go into the light. And yeah, I go backwards and try to pull the light back in a little bit too. Into the light, Caroline. There we go. And honestly, you're getting what you pay for. Because I love my Polychromos. Trust me, they are my favorite pencil on the planet. But these Caran Dash, definitely brighter, don't you think? Definitely got some more pigment in them than even the Polychromos. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, you can pull it out a little bit just like that. But basically, I think I wanted to do this video today because I wanted to take some of the fear out of using oil-based versus wax-based. Let's see here. Let's pull a pencil out here. Let's take a Polychromo. And I believe I took my pine green out. At least I hope I did. Now I'm just going to put a few just squiggly layers on here. I wanted to take some of the fear out of using, you know, one particular brand over the other. And then I'm going to sharpen it because we are going to color. Color, 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 color. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But I believe that they can even work well. An oil base can work well with a wax base. This is my Prismacolor white. And yeah, it's going to lighten the color up because, well, it's Prismacolor white. And then you almost have a pastel color there. Look at that. And yeah, I pressed down really, really hard. But look, they both leave crumbs. And they both have their pros and cons. Caran Dashes the Luminance are a bit brighter. And you may end up having to do an extra layer or two to fully cover the paper. I think my cat's in here. But, as you can see, they were very, very short pencils compared to the Polychromos. Now, keep in mind, this one I had never used before. This one I had only used a couple of times. This one a little bit more, and this one even more. So, but I've used them lots. I've had these pencils for about 6 months now, and except for this one, and maybe one or two others in my set, I have used Polychromos time and time again because I really, really love these pencils. I love using them on just about anything except for the Spring Hill paper. I am not using them on that ever again. I hated it. Hated every minute. I was so mad that I did that. But you're not going to know unless you try. So anyway, there you go. There you have it on the little lesson that we're learning together today. Even I still kind of have it in my head that you have to use oil-based. It's very different. And there may be papers where you do. Maybe this Nina paper is just more geared towards being nice to you when you're using an oil-based pencil. Honestly, I don't have very many issues using oil-based pencils. I don't see much of a difference other than as long as you're going light-handed, you do have to layer and layer and layer. And they do, like, look at this. I can get another layer right here. And like I said, these both, I counted them, 4 layers a piece. Or 3 layers a piece, sorry. I got the number stuck in my head. And you could still put another layer on there. It's still taking another layer. It may be more difficult for you to tell in some spots that it's taking another layer, but it's taking another layer. Here we go. Let me sharpen this one up. And if you like to layer and layer and layer and watch your picture come to life, yeah, definitely. And this can even still take some more layers. I could see some layers happening. I'll do the bird later. So let's pick us out a little leaf here, because I'm sure this video has been going on for a while. Then, of course, my handy dandy napkin, which looks like it needs to be changed eventually. All right. Now, when I do this part, where I'm going to kind of do the veins of the leaf, I do come in a little bit harder. Not super hard. I don't want to break the tip. But that's another nice, that's a good quality of oil-based pencils in general. Boy, I was way off on that. That's okay. Let's make it thick. Is that they will take to being heavy-handed better than a wax pencil. Well, wax pencils break pretty easily. Wax-based pencils break pretty easily. Now, I'm not going to use this chromium green opaque this time because I kind of want to use it like in the cup of the leaves. So I'm going to take that guy out. And then we're going to move to the permanent green olive. And then I'm going to kind of just make up where I think the shading should go. I'm going to kind of twist the pencil around. And then nice light layers. And I think that's another neat thing. And that might be what contributes to their longevity, is just using lots of long layers or lots of light layers. Versus just, hammering it down. Though I can honestly tell you on the Luminance set, I've used lots of light layers too. I mean, not lots, like 3, 4, sometimes 5. And those suckers, their point still goes down pretty fast, and you're still sharpening a lot, and you're still losing a lot of your pencil. But with the Polychromos and any oil-based pencil, you're going to hold your tip longer. All right, and then last but not least is we're going to pull in some May Green in here. And I just feel like when I'm using, especially the Polychromos, not so much the Brufriner squares, they're claimed to be oily colored pencils. I think they are more wax-based, at least the way they feel. But their squareness keeps me from feeling kind of comfortable when I'm holding it at the back. That's the only disadvantage to those that I've found. Otherwise, we're really having a lot of fun with those. I like the Brufriner squares a lot. Those are another one of my favorite pencils. Come back in here with my pine green. And of course, because I'm doing this fine detail, and that's another pro of Polychromos. Now, I don't remember if the pro colors are wax-based or oil-based in the Derwent line. I think they're wax-based. I'll have to come back with that. So don't quote me on it yet. But I will only use the Polychromos or the pro colors, or both of them together, to do hair, because they do really good fine details. I mean, watch. Even from far away, you could just do little wisps of hair. This one's going to be little green wisps of hair. You know, as long as you've got a nice sharp tip, you can really just have a good time here. You can make them short. I like doing the shorts and I like going up. Some people like doing the down like that. I like going up. Mostly because when I do it, for some reason, I leave that little point. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera or not, but I leave that little dot. And I don't know why. A lot of times it makes it really look like it's hair in your scalp. Let me sharpen this up a little bit. Thank God I no longer have the camera hooked up to the table. The table used to shake so much. And I got the doll hooked up to the table, so when I'm sharpening, the whole table shakes. Shake it up, or shake it off, whatever she says. I'm Gen X. I'm not hip to that music. Forgive me. Back here to our May green. And I'm just getting a little bit heavier. Now when I'm actually doing my colorings, I go a lot slower on how heavy I go. And then this time around, I'm going to skip the pine green because we can still see it really good. And I'm going to put my hands down a little bit closer to the point of the pencil with the, who is this again? Permanent Green Olive. And you can just start seeing it come to life. And remember, no two leaves look alike, so do your leaves however you want to. That was the first thing I learned when I started watching YouTube videos while I was coloring, is it's more fun to have fun and do it how you like. I just wanted to show you guys kind of what I learned as I go along, because not everybody's going to run across, you know, Jennifer Stay at Coloring Bliss. I mean, y'all are going to eventually, especially when people like me keep promoting them, because they are totally awesome. I love those ladies. And, you know, Pamela's Passion for Pencils. Okay, now we'll come in with another layer of the pine. There we go. Then come back in here with our whatever olive. Permanent Green Olive. I could remember it was olive. I'm going to start bringing it down just a little bit here into the May green. And bring it up just a little bit. I mean, the main thing of these types of pictures is not necessarily making them look realistic. But I like to practice some of the techniques that I learned off of these ladies and one gentleman at Color and Recover. There we go. And then I think I want to make the stem. Now, when it comes to the stems, I'm kind of lazy. I mean, I'll take this pine green and I'll just make a little bit of dark. And then over the pine green, I'm going to come in with my Polychromos black real lightly and kind of make a shadow. I'm going to come right back over the green with the green. And I'm going to pull the green up a little bit to kind of make a shadow. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the Permanent Green Olive. And only the Permanent Green Olive. I'm not going to bring in the May green. I don't do the dark, medium, and light on these because I feel they're just, I don't know. I'm not sure I can make it look realistic because it's so small. Maybe once I get some new glasses, who knows? All right, and then come back in with the the pine green. Now everybody's permanent green olive. Yay. And then as you can see, if you could tell, there's really no difference. And that's why I bring in the black. And just go very lightly over it. And I mean very lightly. To just enough where you're going to see a difference. But it doesn't look black. There we go. And someday I'll get good at doing skin and we can do some skin tutorials. We can start doing tutorials when I grow up and get good at this. Now I'm not going to do any more of the darkest color because I think the shadow is created. I'm happy with what I've seen. So I am just going to keep going over it with the permanent green olive until I get the desired results I'm looking for, which is the majority of the paper, white of the paper gone. As much of it as I can get as possible. I don't know if you can ever get all of it, but there's my brush. And there you have it, guys. That's what you were doing with the Polychromos. It does take a little bit more time to do layers, but like we were talking about earlier in the video, some of the advantages of using an oil-based pencil is they hold their points a lot longer than a wax-based pencil. They last a lot longer too, I think. So I really think with the Polychromos, if you're not super set or, you know, getting pencils to collect them like some of us weirdos do, and you just want a nice good pencil and you're a little bit heavy-handed and you don't know how to control that yet, like I still go heavy-handed when I'm not paying attention, this is pretty much the pencil for you. And you got the money. If you don't have the money and you're looking more for a budget set for oil-based or what we consider or what we're calling an oil-based, I really recommend the square Brutfuners. And if you become a member of Pamela's Facebook group, there is a, I don't know if it's a PDF or what, but in the archives or the little folders, there is a list of all of the Brutfuner square colors. There was a lady that's a member of the group kind enough to interpret the Chinese on there. So if you're set on having color names, you can at least have the names of the pencils. They're not going to be like phthalo blue or whatever green. It's going to be, you know, really unique. And they're kind of fun and cute names. I really like them. But they're not going to be like normal color names at all. But I would recommend those as a good budget set. I really love those Brutfuner squares. I bring them in with my Polychromos all the time. Especially when I'm not able to find a good enough light color. Or a highlight color. And if you don't really have the money but you really, really want the Luminance, go to Blick.com and just buy a few at a time, open stock. Buy you 2, 3, or 4 and enjoy those. See how you like them. See how they work for you and the paper that you're putting them down on. Are they treating you the same way they treat me? Like every time you sharpen them, they seem to go down half a size. You know, just kind of like test them out. Test the waters out. That's what I like about open stock. I mean, sure, you're spending money. Probably more money overall because it's like $4 a pencil to buy them open stock. Like $4 or $5. Like $4.95, $4.65 or something. Let me go look. Because I got them pulled up here. I just need to go back a page. But yeah, just get them some open stock. Yeah, $4.49. So that's really not terrible. It's not horrible if you just want to try a few pencils. Save some money up if you want to try a few of the Luminance. Actually, I would recommend about 5 or 6 colors. You know, some type of red, some type of orange, some type of yellow, green, blue, and purple. Maybe even a brown, or I don't even necessarily think you really need a pink, but like a brown. I'm not really impressed with their range of grays. I really don't like their range of grays much. They have warm gray and like Payne's gray, whatever you want to call it, and French gray. Yeah, French gray. And then they're going to have Payne's gray and then some warm grays. I would almost consider the raw umbers maybe like a cool gray type color in these sets, but not quite, because they have a little bit of what I call a green tint to them. So, there's like slate gray, silver gray, and steel gray, which are pretty colors. You could probably maybe look at the silver and the steel as also warm colors, cool grays, and a lot less green. Maybe you can make it work. Me personally, maybe it's because I started out, when I started getting these artist grade sets, I started out with the Prismacolors, and their line of grays is just spectacular. Maybe I'm spoiled. I go right to those grays every time when I need a gray. Good set of grays to create some shadows and stuff. Let's see here. But basically, if you want to and you have the money, just get you a few open stock. Otherwise, some good alternatives that are cheaper. I would normally recommend the Artezas because they're a good budget pencil. But I just can't recommend them right now because they're not in stock. We have no idea when they're going to be back in stock. Are they going to make them anymore? I have no idea. I haven't heard anything. I just see everywhere I go that they're out of stock. They don't have any more of those. But they have a good soft, if I think about it, they feel more like the Caran Luminance than the Prismacolors do. Prismacolors are just a wee bit softer. But those would be another set that I would recommend. I would just watch Amazon and wait for them to get down to $70-$80 and then get you your set that way. That way you can get the full set of 150. They are artist grade. I don't know so much about how light fast they are. But most of us, we're not going to be making commissions and stuff like that. If you are a person who does, then I would recommend just saving your money and getting the better sets. The Caran. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight, guys. I'm sure I made a very long video again. But hey, thank you so much for stopping by. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something with me tonight on, oil-based versus wax-based, and then all of the education in between. Comments below, suggestions. Definitely, if anybody out there has any idea of what pencil extender will fit the Caran Luminance, and these guys too. Their little fat butts don't fit into anything. It's terrible because I have a few duplicates of the Polychromos, but not enough duplicates. And so therefore I'm probably going to have to rig up a pencil extender with tape too. It's terrible. If you've got any ideas of an alternative that can help me enjoy the most of my pencils, like look at here, Blackie's getting small. This guy, actually, I was able to fit into one end, the smaller end of the double extender. I had to shove him in there, but he got in there. Not that one, but the first black I used. It got down to that big before I finally said, oh, got to give it up. And that big was without the point. With the point, it was a little bit bigger. Anyway, hey, thanks, guys, for stopping by. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to my channel if you're new here and haven't already subscribed. The more people that subscribe, the more we can share and have fun together. And please like the video. And everybody, please have a colorific day and a colorific rest of your week. Make sure you do something that makes yourself happy. Whether you work or not, whether you play or not, whether you got kids or not. Have fun. Do something happy. Thanks, guys. Bye.